Welcome back to Shem's Universe. So today, guys, we're going to go over how to know your past life karma. So I get this question a lot. Let me take this hood off. I get this question a whole lot. People are like, oh, how do I know what I was in a prior reincarnation? And I'm going to tell you guys today what it really is, because like these astrologists and these numerologists, all these people out here are going to kind of rip you off and charge you extra and act like they're doing some sort of reading for you when it comes to your past life, when it's like, truthfully, we have no idea. That's for one. Two, we can only see certain things. What type of person you were, what type of karma you've brought over. And these things are seen very easily when you look at somebody's life path. For one, do you have a karmic debt? Are you a life path 13, life path 14, 16, or 19? If you have one of those as your life path, then you more than likely were not the best person in a prior life, and you're going to pay for it in this one. Even a lot of rich people have the 13 specifically, and the 14. It's a billionaire number too. 16's famous. 19 has a lot of, I guess, generals, warlords. All of these people that have those life paths have to go through a lot to get to their position. They don't just get it handed easy. If they were born rich, then they have other issues that they have to battle with. Life path 8 means 50-50. You were either a very good person in your past life or a bad one, and we use Chaldean numerology to figure that one out. If you're a 17 over 8, you were good. If you're a 26 over 8, you weren't the best. 35 over 8, you were horrible. That's me. So you were probably pretty bad in a prior life, and you're going to have to learn about being consistent and disciplined this time in order to actually see monetary gains and overall good luck in life. The next way we definitely know how to look at somebody's past life karma, and we know exactly what life path you were, is with the expression number. Excuse me. So now we're going back to Pythagorean again. I can now look at somebody's expression number and I'll say, okay, well, this person, like for myself, I'm an expression number 14 over 5. So I have great karma, guys. So 14 over 5 expression number, cool. That means I was a 5 at least in a prior life. Was I 14 over 5? Debatable. But the 5 is definitely prevalent. And what that means is that I've carried over the 5's traits with me. The ability to speak well, communicate. I don't get stage fright. I never did since I was a kid. My mom's always like, yeah, you're going to talk in front of crowds or something. Because it's just something that's natural for me. Writing, all these things I'm just naturally good at. Like I can elaborate on subject matter for hours and hours. I don't get tired of talking. Obviously, I'm a Gemini too, so duh. But nonetheless, that's what I've carried over, is that mercurial energy with the number 5. Having said that, you have to look at what your expression number is, and then you'll understand, okay, that was my life path number in a prior life. So I've learned that lesson already. That's why I have that number's skills and drawbacks naturally. Your expression number is where you're going to find like your hidden talents, things that you for no other good reason are just good at. Like, I'll give you guys an example. If somebody's an expression number 9, for instance, they're naturally going to be very either aggressive or very empathetic to the point where they understand people in a very deep and peculiar way. They also might have good fighting ability naturally, meaning just because they don't know martial arts, they might just be able to square off and knock your jaw into place anyways. If I see somebody with a name number 9, I'm going to go the other way, pretty much. So that's what I mean, is like every expression number, you have to understand that was your life path in a prior lifetime. So in turn, just to conclude this part of it, you have that number's abilities completely. You just got to make sure you get rid of the weaknesses of that number and make sure you just utilize the strengths fully. Next, we go over to astrology. Here's where things get really fancy. Your rising sign, meaning the Eastern star when you're born, here we go with all the debates, that was your prior sun sign. That's why your attitude towards life is naturally like that. That's why people will say, I naturally gravitate towards my rising sign more than my sun sign. Because you already have been that rising sign of prior reincarnation. It was your sun, it was your general personality, it was your life path. So, because you have to understand, guys, your sun sign means a lot when it comes to understanding what your life path is meant to be. Like as a Gemini, I'm meant to be a very avid communicator, either through the written word or through verbal. I do both. But you have to figure out how to do that. If you're a Leo, you have to figure out how to showcase your skill set and then get an audience and garner an audience and not necessitate people to the point you're narcissistic. If you're a Scorpio, you got to be able to use your dark abilities, dark triad abilities in a very moral way to then imbue that in a career. So it always differentiates between each sun sign, what your sort of life path technically is. And then we can look at like your 12th house for your karmic lesson. But back to the major part of this video. The rising sign was your prior sun sign. So that's why you have its abilities now very much just at your disposal. And it's very easy for you to look at that sign and just understand it completely because you already have its abilities. The next thing where people don't know, because people are like, okay, well, the rising sign is my past life. Okay. The 5th house tells you a lot about past life karma as well. Google it. You'll start realizing that a lot of these astrologers have been alluding to that the whole time, but they don't really put that at the forefront, just like the 6th house is your hidden enemies. If you look at the sign, your 6th house, that's most likely who your enemy is. But another day, another subject. I'll do a video on that in the future. The 5th house has everything to do with what type of person you were, meaning the 5th house could be essentially, it shows the nature of your karma. So what I mean by that is, like, you see how the 5th house, they'll tell you, like, oh, you're gonna have healthy kids, good recreational life, you'll be a leader in your group, yay. You have to understand that these things come with a cost. You were either a very good person in a prior life while you're in that situation now, or possibly you weren't. And the way you know if you have good karma in your 5th house is if you have beneficial energy there. If you have, particularly, sun is good there, moon is good there, Mercury good there, Venus is good there. If you have Mars in the 5th house, if you have Saturn in the 5th house, being just the planets, even if you have a good sign, you didn't do the best in a prior life, there's going to be a lot of conflict in this one and disputes that you have to get through. If you have Aries, Scorpio, Capricorn, or Aquarius in the 5th house, you're going to have issues socially. You might be viewed as very arrogant, irrational, or overly aggressive. I'm just defining each of them separately there. But you're going to have some sort of issues socially, and then even maybe starting a family might be something that actually takes a longer time for you. This is a result of karmic debt that you're facing because of a prior lifetime's I wouldn't even say mistakes, because we're very intentional beings. I just say what we chose to do in a prior life, and as such, now we have to live with the consequences of it. I'm not being biased. I have Capricorn in my 5th, Aquarius in my 6th. So as a life path 8, I understand my life has been pretty hard. I got to work harder than other people typically to get what I want from it. So you have to look at it the same way. Is like, even if you don't have the best positionings, you can make it work for you, and you can weaponize these things to actually extrapolate more success in this lifetime. Once you just know what you're up against. As long as you know your enemy, you know what to do with them. So that's the whole point, is like, just know your enemy, know the position you're in, know your terrain, and then you can adapt to it completely. So that's the whole point of this, guys, is that should explain your past life karma. Just to reiterate it, your life path number, you want to look at the karmic debts, if you have any karmic debts or not. Then you want to look, if you're an 8, look at what kind of 8 you are when it comes to the compound. When you add it up, are you a 17, 26, 35, 44? What is it? 44 is also karmic debt too. Not very good, because 4 is very karmic in itself. Moving on, the expression number. If your expression number is a karmic debt number, obviously it's just common sense. Like, you might not have the best karma in this lifetime. You're going to have to work through a lot of things. Then you want to look at your rising sign. See what kind of sign that was. At least you know what type of person you were, what sign you were, what your personality was like. Then you can look at your 5th house and then see if there's any karmic debts in your astrological natal chart. Using the 5th house, understand that Mars and Saturn are the main planets that have to do with karmic debt. So if you have one of those in the 5th house, that means that you will be suffering from karmic debt in this lifetime. If you don't, then that means you were at least a pretty good person, or at least adequately good, enough not to get that type of positioning there. So I'm not saying that if you don't have any of these positionings I'm listing, guys, your life is easy and it's nice and just sunshine and rainbows. It's not. But this is how we sort of navigate and understand what past life karma looks like. This is how we can define it. So that's what I'm doing. So when people ask me, oh, what was my past life like? This is all I'm looking at. All right. So now you guys have it as well. Don't like to gatekeep too much. So you guys have these gifts at your disposal as well. Use it as you will. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much. I have about 30 videos I've written out. So May's going to be extremely busy, guys. Look forward to talking to you guys soon. Let's get to it. Peace.